Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild.
Good afternoon. It's Friday and it is a few minutes past 2 p.m. here in Central Europe, so here in the Netherlands, where I am currently in my lovely home. And we are gonna craft a bit today. Good afternoon, Helle. Great to see you. Great to see you. So, idea is actually basically to continue where we left off, um, because we just had a color change on the shawl Friday. We discussed actually having to have some sort of bada bing sound for when I finally have my color changes. I am very much inclined to see if I can actually find some sort of functioning board for that, where I can just like play a single sound. Of course, it needs to be what is it called? It can't be copyrighted, so there's a few things, but I haven't had time to find that yet. I have been busy. I've definitely been busy. I almost lost track of time today, but yeah. So we are going to proceed with the LapsangTea Shawl. That is the general concept of this, and of course, I do have my tea. It's just a classic Russian Earl Grey today, and that just basically is an Earl Grey infused with some lemon. And this must be our current progress. Ta-ta! And for those curious, this would be the yarn. It is probably like here would be the best color differentiation of it. I think that's pretty close, to be honest. We are having a one color fade left, which we just changed into being two of these light purple and one strand of the dark purple. Then eventually we will transition into, I do believe we have some solid light purple before we go into this more like, I'm not sure, I think we should call it pinkish color. And of course with this silver strand of lyrics going through it as well. I'm just placing it over there. Then I am finding the pattern and we are gonna work the last bit. We are missing this much on this row from Wednesday, and then we will just see how far we get today. I do have to get off on time because I need to cook dinner. It's Friday, many things are happening, and a few things needs to get sorted as well. But yeah, I think I feel good. Yesterday, I went to the doctors to get my what is it called? It's not a cold, flu, the flu infection injection. So injection against the flu vaccine. And I also visited what is probably going to be my new massage therapist, as long as at least I have the finances to afford it. Wasn't this where I were? No, that was this row, so it's the next row. Because we are making popcorns. Yes, we are. And Wednesday we had the vote. We did the vote, and they're still counting votes, by the way. We are probably not going to have a final result until like this weekend, because apparently there are some really, really close voting this year. So they are working a ton to get all the voting sorted, but that's just like the small political aspect. We are, of course, always a bit curious to see how it ends as, but yeah, we should be okay, I believe. Hopefully, this time around, they won't take like half a year before they get a government set and find out who's going to do what. So let's move down the camera view. So I am going to pop down the camera. And as you notice today, I have no puncher on. I was highly debating on grabbing a puncher, but I am actually working without. Yeah, there we go. That would be the current project. Have the yarn spindle at the left side of me because I am right-handed, so that works nicer. At least personally, I think so. And then this is just a question of making a bunch of popcorn stitches. I should have found the needle measurement tool I have, but just other things I've been doing. And I admit the fact that the new season of The Witcher is out has caused me to spend some time watching that rather than doing a few of the other things I might have been more supposed to be doing. That said, I have been a good girl and I have been working on Fleur. And like yarn consumption in general, definitely has also been good, I think, as of late. So I have been active. I've been active, definitely. I know I'm usually not live on Fridays, but since my primarily goal for the remainder of this year is to finish Fleur, it felt a bit weird to just have yarn talks about Fleur and maybe one or two other projects. So so far, of course, I've had a few things I've been working on when Fleur hasn't been practical. But when I just have crochet time, I've actually been trying to focus on Fleur. I did as well last night. I made apple pie while my partner was at a meeting. Then I was working on Fleur and watching some of The Witcher of the new season. I think actually that it's not too bad. It's argumentable whether they're oh Jesus, I should know this name by heart, but I don't. But I think actually that the replacement of Henry Cavill wasn't necessarily bad. Because I do find that, and I should know his name. It's such a classic. Last night I was like, yeah, that's the name. Which is kind of embarrassing actually. Liam Hemsworth replaced Henry Cavill. That's how it was. And I have to say, he's not doing bad. Like, or it could also just be I'm not a big enough fan to not know better, but I think he's actually doing a good job. That's my impression of it. The story definitely is picking up. First, in the beginning, I was like, "What is this I'm watching?" And then I realized it had started me on season 3, episode 1, and I was like, "Oh, that's why it seems also familiar as if I just watched it." But yeah, so I still have like 4 episodes to go of this new one, so it's not like I've watched them all yet. More than I think I've watched 3.5 episodes, something like that, because I also watched something else when my partner got home from the meeting. But generally, it allowed me to process pretty well on Fleur. And I think that at the end of this week, I might be really, really close to have finished 100 rows in total. So that means that there's like, what, 29? Right now there's like 30-ish rows left. A bit less, actually. Which means that it's still realistic to do, but I do need to focus my time on it when I am able to do so. At least if I want to actually make this goal. And it would be so nice. And then I would need one new big project to work on, which hopefully are to be a slight bit simpler than the big fleur. At least I need something where I don't necessarily need to constantly have a pattern to follow and count and so on in the same way. I have been debating if we should start on the Heart Collector Shawl after that. So maybe in the new year for the new big project, because that is also going to take a long time. I have both yarns. I have 2 types of yarns that I can use for it. I have some hobby twister and some twister solids in some colors that I think would be absolutely gorgeous for the Heart Collector Shawl. And then I have some of the platter yarns, just like the yarn I'm using right here, though not with sparkly colors, but I have some platters in red and orange, which I also think could work really, really nice for that shawl. That said, if I go that direction, I would probably need to cut a bit less in yarn because some of the skeins are just a lot bigger. But I wonder which I should be doing first of them. I'm not completely like which of the yarns I should use up first for this purpose. I am not fully determined on that. Not yet, at least. But what I could probably do is I could maybe host a poll on my channel for input and see what you guys think. It's a thinking, not a decision yet. And of course, we have to get moving. I did want to knit a cowl. And I also have I do have a bunch of random yarns, which I got in a sort of an ice lucky bag, so to say. I know it's 100% acrylics, but I want to double strand them also to make some knit beanies. Because that would help up on the yarn consumption side. Oh my goodness, this yarn split, didn't it? It did. That was better. And I don't know what to use it for. Right now it's just like laying in my stash, staring at me, being like, I have no real purpose. I don't have that many of the skeins, so it just makes sense to kind of double strand them, I guess, to use them up quicker and to make them a bit chunkier. And yeah, that is another thing I'm looking at doing. No. Don't. The good thing is that this popcorn stitch row is almost complete, which means that, of course, I can go ahead and do something else. It is early, and it is a bit earlier than what I normally do, at least for those in the US and maybe at other locations than Europe, because last weekend we did have our yearly change to winter time, so to say, which means that we went an hour back in time, or we changed the clock 1 hour back. We had an hour extra sleep last week, Sunday morning. And I am kind of happy we had that extra hour of sleep, to be honest, because I was really tired. Um, and I slept, and yeah, that was kind of nice actually. So this weekend we are gonna go to Germany again. So I will be bringing my. I think I'll be bringing my velvet yarns for making scrunchies in the car. That would be good for the yarn consumption. Plus, we are starting on a new month, so that will help make a dent in the month of October. Meanwhile, I can start thinking about the projects I may want to consider bringing with me to Denmark in a week and a half. Actually, it's a bit less. Um, I haven't defined yet what I want to do, but I'm sure we'll be fine. I'll find something to bring with me. But it needs to be something where, yeah, something I could easily do. Let's see, 2, 4. So exactly which and what and how is not yet decided, but I should be fine. I also have a small project I believe is still in Denmark waiting for me to return. That is the I-cord I was working on, but that's almost complete. So I need something additional, I think, to the I-cord. And I also need to keep in mind that I am in fact also having a few plans when I'm there. I have a few appointments that I promised to attend, which I think is going to be great. It's about being an inspiration when you have the opportunity to do so. And I was requested if I wanted to stop by at a youth training. And of course, I would like to do that, tell a little bit about my experiences and help them coming with some good suggestions for training. So yes, we can do that, most definitely. Let's see. So I need to think how we adapt certain things, but I think what's important is to tell the youth that it's important to make friends. We have a quite individual sport, but if we are afraid of helping our friends, we won't grow ourselves, because if we as a competitor grow, then we are forced to get better ourselves as well. Good morning, Revenant. Happy Halloween, by the way. I know it is Halloween. Personally, here, we don't like it is starting to be celebrated more in the Netherlands. I'm not really a celebrator of Halloween. I guess because it's not like a tradition I'm really grown up with. But I do know it is Halloween today. So happy Halloween to the US people. And further than that, I think I am doing well. I feel good, at least. I've invested in my body. And by this, I mean that I invested in another massage, which I am really happy that I got. So hopefully we are like getting closer to the status quo. And then I just need like some treatments once in a while to kind of like keep normal. I'm looking forward to see how that's gonna work out tonight at the practice. at the range, because I think it also has a positive effect on my performance, which really needs a performance boost. Because it's not been as good as I should be able to as of recent. 2, 4, and popcorn. Oh, I forgot to chain one before the popcorn. Darn it. Well, that's easy then. What did I? Oh, I did chain one. Oh, fuck. Sorry for my language, fellas. Please forgive me. I understand why they don't, but I wish our neighborhood did the trick and treat thing. But I'm all off for 2 major roads with very few street lamps and only 6 houses, so I can imagine that it's a bit of a like outlier area, so kids kind of need to know that you don't mind people coming by for the trick and treat and so on. I guess they had a period where they had something similar here in the Netherlands, but they do it for the St. Martin, so that's like actually it's kind of the same thing, but it's first in 2 weeks' time. And if you want to participate as a household so that kids don't get disappointed, you put a lamp in your door window. You have like a real like sort of lamp that kind of tells them you can bust the doorbell because here you will actually get something, and you will not be a nuisance. And I think that is a really, really, really kind thing. And like, you know, you can actually tell, hey, come along. We'd like to participate. We don't get bothered by you wanting to get a piece of candy, so to say. In the middle of the town, but the traffic, high traffic, low light is a bad combo. Yeah, that's not very good at all. Most definitely not. I need to, just a moment, I just need to count my stitches here. I need to get into this, which is fiddly. I hate the turning chain. But this basically means that when I've done this treble, that this row is completed. Hallelujah. And then I'm just going to check what we're going to do next. It looks like puff stitches. Yeah, it's puff stitches, my friends. For crying out loud. Anyhow, I hope you've had a great night and that you are going to have a great day regardless of likely not having any trick-or-treaters coming along. It's technically something that should like memorize and remind us of the people who's passed. And that idea I really actually like. So let's see. How was it? I did the puff stitch is going to go into the space. Okay. 1, 2, and 3, and be kind to me, and you were. Hallelujah. And now the challenge. I do believe they're back posts. I always need to double check. Yeah, they're back posts. So we do back post. And then we chain 1. And then it's double crochet 3 together in the space here. 1, 2, 3. then we go chain 2, and then it's puff stitches in those 4 centers. Oh my goodness, that was the yarn really does move on this bundle. I'm just going to flip the work a bit around so I can easier see what I am doing. And then, as I said, puff stitches 1, 2, 3, and 1 between each. Okay. I've been watching a fun vampire show for spooky season. The strain based on trio books of co-written by Guillermo del Toro. Okay. I would say if it's horror, that would probably have been something for my partner, except for he's like vampire. He's not like taking us serious, but he's more like the Resident Evil kind of type where I'm like, dude, that's also just like, you know, these zombie movies are kind of the same shit. I guess, but that's my 5 cents. But I'm not really sure if that's a valid argument. As I just said, and I think I said that before you popped in, Witcher season 4 is out, and well, I actually do like the Witcher show, so I've been watching. I've not through yet. I've watched the first, I think, 3 episodes, and then yeah, there's and I'm maybe halfway through episode 4. He might like this one. It's a mixture of vampires and zombies. I will keep in mind. I will keep in mind. Let's see here. Actually, I think I'm good. I just need to keep chiseling on with what I'm doing here. The puff stitches is the sad story of my life. I know they end up looking nice, so, but genuinely, that's not my stitch. But I think I'm actually now slowly at a place where I might rather do puff stitches than popcorns. But that's because they are slightly quicker to do compared to. That's just thoughts. Then we have the crochet 3 together. Oh, like that. One, 2, and 3. Revenant, that's how I feel. I'm not a fan of popcorn. I'm not a fan of puff stitches. I'd rather have the crochet 3 together. That's more viewable. But I'll do them because the pattern calls for it, and I know it's going to look good. Like, I don't do them because I'm like, yes, I want to do this. That's I think that's the thing, right? The feeling of, is there a desperate need to do them? No, there isn't. Because this one got messed up, so I can start all over again. Right? It's the first one on this row that I really funked up. 2, 3. And it's usually when I don't pull up the yarn too high enough to kind of make it That's usually when it kind of goes not so nice. But the 3 together is easier, I think. And it does to some extent give a similar result. And yet not completely. 1, 2, 3. One and 3. And I haven't bought any yarn yet. I'm a good girl. But been tempted, of course. I think we crafters are always tempted to buy yarn. The real only question is how much we can hold ourselves back. What rules we have for when we are allowed to get some. I had a great idea for a poncho actually, and I was like, oh, but if I want to do it like that, I would probably need to buy yarn. And then I was like, put away the idea. Like, no, 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 no. You are not allowed to do that. And I put away the idea. So I'm proud actually. That said, I do have some yarns that I bought last year. Or did I buy it in the beginning of the year? I think I bought it last year. And I am going to make like a vest with it. And I should start on that project. I think that might be depending on when I finish Fleur. But if I do that before Christmas and I have time, I might actually start on that vest earlier. And then do that first. And I have the yarns for it, so it's it's just laying in my stash waiting for me to use it. I only have half a metric ton of yarn, nothing good enough for the project I'm planning. Exactly. So therefore, we need to buy another half metric ton of yarn to maybe. Actually, I have no clue how many kilos of yarn I have, but I have a lot. I think that was probably going to be the best argument. I just have a lot. The end. I've not measured it and weighed it up, but I guess if I have nothing to do one day, I could do it. That would be a project for, let's say my contract doesn't get extended next year. Then that could be a great project for going through my stash again. How does my stash look now compared to how it looked back in 2024? And then I probably should write down all of the yarns I have so I can really have a clear overview. A lot of people use Ravelry and so on for their stash. I do not. I tried to, but I felt keeping it updated. So now I just know approximately what yarn I have and where I have it, what type. And that's working for me. Do you keep track of your yarn in a specific ways? Any of you? Or you also just have it stashed and you know where you have the yarn, and if you want to make a project, you can go through it to see if you have the yarn you need. Henceforth, the concept of shopping our stash. Or do you just buy yarn every time you're gonna make a new project, and then you'll see? And you only buy yarn when you're making a new project and have that planned. 2 and a 3. Ronan says he has a number of bins that's mostly sorted by brand. That makes good sense. Some of my bins are definitely also sorted by brand. Like, I have a lot of Yarnarts flowers, but it's kind of the same as Hobby Twister. It's actually exact same yarn specs, exact same yarn, if you ask me. And while Yarnart and Hobby are two different brands, they are in the same bins. I have two full crates, boxes with them. I have quite a few. Like, a lot. A lot of twisters. Which, by the way, is some of them are also what I wanted to use for the hat collectors. So, but if I go with a twister route, then I will need to do some cutting and sorting because I'm gonna color control them. They aren't long enough completed to do what I want, so I will have to use or combine multiple cakes. 1 and a 3. I have more or less a general idea of what I have. That's same for me, same for me. I also go through the bins every now and then to see what I have. I should go through them more often. I most definitely should. One of my bins will be quote unquote empty, except it does contain other yarns now as well. Once I'm done with Fleur, because that was almost a whole box on its own. But I put some different yarns in it later because I needed some space. And that box had room, and why not use all the room in the box was my idea. But yeah, once Fleur is done, obviously, that will clear up some space. So yeah, that is genuinely a project I am looking quite much forward to finish. And I think we can conclude also with how I'm talking about Fleur and what I have been doing is that I'm also motivated to make my goal that we are finishing Fleur in 2025. I have 2 months to go. 2 months to go to 30 rows. That's half a row a day. But I will need to do more than half a row a day because I have a few days where I'm not home. Okay, how are we going to go around making this center here? So I'm just keeping track. 1, 2, 3. So my issue is I'm really good at putting like, oh, I created some room, and then I use the room instantly as it's been freed up. 1, 2. 1. Oh, it's only 1. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Then we are gonna do the last one over here, and then I'm just gonna check if I actually did it all correct. 1 and a 3. I think I did. I did. Awesome. Yay. Way to go me. Or something like that. We are now on the other side, where we can actually see where, as I said, the color change was. So this is the first part of this new color change on this side of the shawl. And yes, I am still supposed to go have a look for this lovely audio for color change song. And it sounds like I will definitely need it in the new year. It's something I'm going to spend some time on. Maybe I have some time this weekend. It kind of depends because, as I said, I'm not home this weekend. So I don't know if I will have enough time to do so. 1, 2. Because I do believe that we are live again on Monday, but I'm not sure if I'll reach to have it ready for Monday. But yeah, we will have to see. Then we have the crochet 3 together stitch. So are you working on anything special right now, or what are people working on? Do you want to share? Are you crafting on something, or are you just hanging out with your morning coffee? Or afternoon coffee for that matter? What are you up to? Yeah, I think we're progressing nice actually on this side. I'm pleased on the process. And I also think, of course, we know this pattern is going to be so much nicer when it gets blocked, but it is progressing very nicely, I think. 1, 2, and 3. I'm just hanging out right now, but I have what I will eventually be a poncho on the hook, using a current slice of anniversary cakes in the purple, blue, and red. That sounds like a nice colorway. That sounds like a really nice combination of colors, all going very well together. Swings and roundabouts. Yeah, and it's very soft and silky, but also very prone to splitting. Oh yes. People say it's the same with bamboo yarn. I have to admit I've never actually physically tried bamboo yarn. A part of me would like to, and a part of me kind of fears the thought of it. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. And the back post. It's a pattern where I get to count to 3 a lot. Because for the popcorns, we do picking up the yarn 3 times, right? Or yarn over 3 times. And then we have the crochet 3 together, where you also kind of count to 3, where you make the first bit of the double crochet before you crochet them all together. And apparently I am yawning, and I have a feeling I'm getting cold, which is not so nice. Even though it's been feeling warmer today than yesterday. Yesterday I had a moment where it was extremely cold. So cold that I ended up getting myself a heat pad for my hands because my hands were freezing. That's not, oh no, I'm not doing popcorns, I'm crocheting 3 together. That's not something that's like I do a lot. I used to do the heating pads back in the days when I was training a lot because the range was really cold in the winter, so I just brought the heating pads with me on training. And luckily I still had those laying around. My heating pad is just over there. And I don't need them right now because my hands are actually warm. But my legs feels like they're getting a bit chilly. Which is crazy given the fact that I sit in a blanket. 1, 2, and 3 together. Nice. It's frigid for Texas right now. The weather for Vaco in Texas is sunny with a temperature of 48 degrees, which is about 9 degrees Celsius. That sounds chilly indeed. The wind is blowing from east-northeast at 1 mile per hour, and the humidity is 81. Sounds indeed chilly. Let's compare it to Nijmegen, which is not so far from where I live. Here the weather is currently 55 degrees Fahrenheit, so about 30 degrees Celsius. Wind is blowing from south-southeast at 9 miles per hour, and the current humidity is 73. And it's dry, it's cloudy. I haven't seen rain, which is kind of nice. Yesterday I saw sun for like the first time in a week. And I was like, oh my god, the sun is there. Ha! Amazing. Right? So the heat pads I was talking about is these classic ones. Which you can like boil to preheat them or heat them back up. This one is used, so it's not the same, but I have one that's unused. And they have this kind of coin or thing, and you knick it. You can see it floats around. When you knick it, it gets warm and it keeps the heat for like 20 minutes. So I used this heating pad for basically heating my hand yesterday because I was like, oh my goodness, it can't be true that I'm freezing my hands so badly. I can't like do anything. I am a person that easily gets colds. I think that's the end conclusion. I probably have poor blood circulation, even though I'm not sure if there's a specific reason for it. But I've been used to it always being like that, so I'm not really thought about it. You know, like I always have colder hands and colder toes, but I don't think about it unless I freeze. I don't always freeze, if that makes sense. But then it's good. As I said, in a bit more than a week time, I'll be in Denmark. And while in Denmark it's cold outside than definitely is indoor here, I can also tell you that my parents' place has a lot warmer indoor than is here in my house. So I need to look at something positive. One, two, three. That reminds me also, I need to pack up and wrap up a birthday present because a friend of mine has her birthday on Monday and I see her tonight. And I wanted to give her something, just a small token. So I need to do that as well sometime between now and dinner, after dinner. One, two, and three. Oh my goodness. I really need to keep track because I'm so into. I need to keep in mind that I need to switch between the crochet 3 together and the puff stitches, and it's gone well, but once in a while I end up doing the wrong stitch and I can redo it because obviously that is not what it's supposed to be. This row is almost complete, which should mean that the next row should be theoretically easier, but I actually don't remember. We'll see. 2 and 3. 1, 2, 3. All these puff stitches, they really swallow yarn. One, 2, 3. Oh no, yarn split. Can I manage to save this one? I can. Way to go, me. So yeah, we are just checking on. And if you haven't done yet, don't forget to hydrate. Maybe the tea will help my body feel a little bit warmer. I think that's also why I enjoy tea even more in the winter, because it's like chillier outside. So we are heading to the club tonight for training. I need to pack my things together to bring with me home because Sunday I have a match. And you know, tonight we still have the apple pie left from yesterday. Plus, we might have some hot chocolates as well to go with it. I think that is actually a really good idea for tonight. And it is this time of the year where hot chocolate and pie and so on, it's time for it, right? just how it is, at least. It feels so much more logic. So yeah, that is that. I think that's a plan for tonight. I'll try to get home on time and then make a mug of hot chocolate and some apple pie. Like, yes, please. I cannot hear the word club without yeah, but Usher is playing in my head. I am sorry. Should I just say shooting range? Would that be better? I'm heading to the shooting range tonight, which I'm more or less every Friday. Good morning, Megan. Wonderful to see you, and happy Halloween to you as well. Are you having everything prepared for the kids coming along later, or you're not participating in the Halloween aspect? Because I do know it's a bit individual from household to household if people want to be doing the Halloween. There's where my puff stitch needs to go in. 1, 2, and a 3. And a closed and a chain and a double crochet. And then I just need to fiddle for a minute and I'll catch up on chat because it is this end turning chain which everybody absolutely, I don't know, but it's always for me a mess to get into it. I think I got it. No, not the correct way at least. That was better. Just finishing this row. And then I will most definitely catch up on the chat. Done. It's all good. It's just a funny thing. Yeah, okay, fair enough. And Megan has a candy ready for the kids. Awesome. Let's see here. The front posts. No, back posts. What the heck? Okay. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I just gotta flip this work around. It is actually starting to have a decent size every time I flip it around, right? And 1, 2, and no. So that was a start, and then I need to chain 1, skip a stitch, and work in. And that goes into the space. Skip a stitch, and then I'd like to make them front posts because that just makes most sense. Oh yeah, of course it is front post around the back post. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I was just about to say, this doesn't make sense. But the part that didn't make sense was me only reading the part I wanted to read. I want to, technically, this might be slightly wrong. But it's what I've done so far. So, and then chain 2. Yeah, I should be able to do this. I should be able to do this. Bunch of front posts. It's all front posts. So, as I said, it's just because I didn't read where I should be reading. Because it says make front post around back post, and I was just reading the back post bit where I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Of course it doesn't make sense. Because that wasn't what I was written. So technically this row should be quicker because we don't have puff stitches or popcorn stitches or crochet X together stitches. So in all theory, this should be quicker. If it is, I don't know. But yeah, I can, oh my goodness, I'm making mistakes. Cricket. I'm only doing 2 chains and I need to do 3, so no wonder it gets a bit stretchy. So here is good, and then here I only have 2, but I need to have 3. Okay. Let's look at the positive side of things. Regardless that I had to do a little bit of frocking, it was very minimum, and I'd rather do it now than doing it when it's definitely too late. So I was actually rather happy about that. When it has to be. So, and then I need to do 3 here. 1, 2, 3, rather than the 2. Good. We are back on track. That is, as long as the yarn doesn't split on me. And then 3, blah, blah, blah. I can do this. I can do this. Absolutely. Okay, just got emails from 2 separate places offering 31-cent shipping on orders for Halloween. I must be strong, and I will not buy yarn today. I will wait until Black Friday. I will be good. Yes, please be good. I haven't checked my inbox either, and I won't until it's too late. Like, I have to be a good girl. And not get yarn. But yeah, it's been some tempting days, and hobbies really had yarns which I genuinely would love to have in my stash. Well, I'm trying to tell myself that I may not buy yarn. We'll have to look what's there when I get my 10% discount voucher for my birthday. Then, if it's on sale, I'm allowed to buy yarn. That's next year. Oh, I don't need that. Oh, I just need a double crochet. Front post and a double crochet. Yeah, that looks good. Much better. So I'm definitely on the same road myself, doing my very best not to get tempted to buy yarn. I am extremely tempted though to do so, but I have been good. I think I've been good because I haven't bought any. We've only looked at, and it's okay to look at yarn. It's absolutely okay to look at yarn. As long as you don't buy it. No. Yeah, that looks better. So yeah, I've been good as well. As I said, I've really been looking at things I'd love to get, but a bunch of the things I'm also being like, no, I should not get any. There's a German store that I should have a pending coupon code for, which I'd love to get. But I haven't bought any yarns recently. And I'm trying to stay away from it. And there's also a Dutch store which has some kegs. I'd be like, oh yeah, they would be nice to get. But I haven't bought them. And I've been looking at them for a long time, but I haven't bought them. So I am proud that I haven't. We need to make more space first in my whole stash. One, two, three, and then some more front posts. But yes, this row feels pretty quick. I think a part of it is due to it does have a fair few chains, plus it's front post, double crochets, and double crochets only. So that generally does go smoother. Especially the chains work up fast, obviously. I find it interesting that apparently people do not like front back post double crochets. Those are some of my favorite stitches. Actually, I'm also surprised. I don't think they're that bad at all. Of course, in the beginning, figuring out how and what, it's a question of getting used to, but I'd much rather do front post back posts than popcorns or puff stitches. Let's be honest about that. Give me front post or back post indeed. I'd also rather do a front post than a back post, but that's just because it's easier for the work. I think. But I don't mind any of them. It's like the easy department in the bigger scheme of things. But I never really heard that people don't like the front posts, back posts. I'm just surprised because honestly, what can you have against them? I think they're pretty smooth sailing. Back post can be a bit tricky getting enough slack to make the stitches even. I never thought about it. But I do say I did those pot holders, which is like a lot of front post treble crochets, not double but treble, and I struggled being able to maintain the right height for those. And even though I had some of the same height, it still seemed shorter than the regular double crochets. And henceforth, I want to, if I attempt to do that one again, then I would likely do a smaller hook for the regular granny double crochet backside and a larger hook for the front side. Like just a hook size difference, maybe like 0.5 millimeter or something like that. Okay, just need to keep track because we are getting closer to the center here, so I just need to see what I am to do. Only need 2, and then a front post, then chain 2, and the same on the other side. Coolio. Which is sort of similar to others, so this makes sense. But again, I need to keep track. Here's only 2 and not 3. 2. And then we can go back to do what we did on the other side, almost to the end. And then it gets a bit special again. And I need to keep track of the work here. I think they can be intimidating for newer crocheters. That's maybe the case. At the same time, I didn't really fret away for new things. I think that's what's challenging is what helps us learning and growing. So I think we as people needs to be challenged to get better. The big Halloween blanket I made was a lot of front post trebles. I love the texture they bring. Yes, they bring nice texture indeed. And trebles are nice because they're also pretty quick to make, and they really make the project grow in a faster pace. So I do still have like 4 skeins for the double velvet I use for the scrunchies. And I'm gonna bring that with me. And they also like there's a lot of treble crochets there. So they're generally pretty quick makes, and I've been enjoying to make them for when we had something going on the TV. But the thing is, once I'm done with these skeins, I will need to find something else easy for the TV. And then, of course, if you're interested in getting one of the scrunchies, they would be on my website. There's a link to that in the description box here down below. You can also just pop over there at buymeWhite.com. I could also just shortly share it in chat for those who may just want to join it via the chat. I should have done an HPP actually. That would have been more proper. Can we just remove it and then we'll enter what should be a link? That was better. That popped as a link. 1, 2, and 3. I'm imagining this shawl, once blocked and finished, will also end on the web store. And I also have a few other projects I need to block and get photographed. Shawls I've made over time, which is just, I don't have room for them all. And we're going to put them on. 1, 2, 3. I've also been debating if I should put some of it on Vinted. It seems to be a popular marketplace these days. But my flare blanket is not being sold. I will keep that. It's been way too much effort. Way too much effort to even consider. My goodness. Like, or it will be way too expensive. However you want to look at it. 1, 2, and 3. Like that. Then 1, 2, 3. And then I have this idea for a beanie that I want to make, which is not following a pattern, because that is my little head having a great idea. That might be a project I'll start on once I'm done with the scrunchies. 2, 3. that could be something to do. I do feel though that crocheting projects seem to go faster than when I'm knitting, except of course when I'm double or triple stranding them. And I found the most gorgeous shawl. I think it was yesterday, which I'm like, I need to learn to knit this, but I don't know how. It is a free pattern. It's on the hobby website. It's made in merino wool. I'm actually going to find it for you guys because I think it was absolutely gorgeous. So I want to make that. Oh, only for the first 100 orders. Okay, yeah, so you don't know if you get it, so which means I'm not going to get anything. And I'm not going to order yarn. The end. I'm inclined to, but no. Okay, shopping. You. This, my friends, this shawl. I'd like to make this one. I'd like to learn how to make this one. 1, 2, 3. I think I might even have some yarn that would be suitable for it in my stash. But I think I'm gonna make the other cowl first, the one that was suggested to me by Susan, because that's a lot simpler one. This is an intermediate knitting pattern, and I don't feel I'm intermediate knitter by any means. But I really like how this looks. I think it's a really nice, neat one. Sideways, and it's one of these thinner ones. So yeah, I kind of like this one, and it's a merino one. Here you can see like the texture. So this is like me saying, I need to learn to knit this. So that's gonna be a project of mine. I think it's just like a one ball project. Unless you want to make them medium or long, then it's maybe a 2-ball project. What you will need, 53 grams. I'm not sure if they are 53 grams. It's because we're in the US. We'll pop over to the Netherlands and see what they say. Or in Dutch, obviously. You'll need still 53 grams. Apparently it's on sale, coincidentally. But, yeah, it is a 50-gram skein. You'll probably need like 2. Because that's a short version. Let's say if we make them long, yeah, 2. So for 2 balls of extra fine merino, you can like get a long version. So I need to learn to knit this. That is my goal. Maybe for next year. Next year's goal. Next year's goal, in between the rests. It doesn't seem too complicated. And as I said, I'd like to make the shawl that was suggested to me by Susan, because I do genuinely have the yarn that would be perfect for it. If I'll do that, then I will also be, my knitting needles will be occupied for a bit. 1, 2, 3. Because cowls and shawls and so on generally takes longer to make, I would say. One, 2. So this is just me being like, and you know, that's goal setting. I think if I can learn to knit that one, try matching what I could, like, I have this sweater t-shirt thing from Mayflower, which is a Danish brand, which I'd love to learn how to make myself. And I hope that they still have the yarn and the pattern once I'm skilled enough to do it, because I haven't bought it yet. And I haven't done that because I try not to, because I'm not ready to make it yet. And that's why I haven't bought it yet either. But and also, of course, partially because I guess I hope I can do a shirt size smaller than I currently have, but I don't want to do that before I can also decently fit test it. And that's going to be at least another year of the current pace. 1, 2, 3. I think after these few stitches, I need to check how that I'm closing off this row. I can show you the sweater. I'd love to sweater slash. It's a t-shirt, I think, that I'd like to make. 1, 2, 3. I believe it's like 3 here. It is. Oh no. What's happened here? That is a yarn split, which let's see if we somehow can fix. We can. Hallelujah. Lucky me. 1, 2. Not exactly how I'd imagined it, but it works. That works a lot nicer than what was. Good. And then I believe it's only one, and we'll skip one. And again, then the very end of this row, we'll have the classic 2 doubles and a treble. Like this. Awesome. Oh, my nose is itchy today. On this row, we do not work on any stitch on the corner chain, blah, blah, blah. Ah. Puff stitches, my friends, puff stitches. For crying out loud, puff stitches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just quickly to dub this one over. And then I'm going to find that shirt that I talked to you about that I'd love to make. So of course we have the shawl, and I think maybe if I can, like, this is a smaller project, so if I can learn that, maybe I would be able to learn to make the other one. Mayflower. I need to find it if I can. It's a Danish yarn brand. They have a bunch of lovely yarns, a bit of the hobby concept. Right now, they're also shipping abroad Denmark, so not only in Denmark, but I could also get shipped to the Netherlands, for example. But right now, that's not important. It's Black Month. They are also having sales. They also sell some of the petite knit patterns. So I'm trying to find a Go away, behave. I'm trying to find the yarn, and I wanted it to drop down, but it's not exactly doing what I want. Other fibers. What is it named again? I think it's Amalfi, maybe? Let's go have a look at it. I think it is, because this is a viscose. And then we just need the patterns. Yeah, this one, here it is. Ta-ta! So I need to bookmark this one. Apparently I haven't, but now I have. Look at this, a gorgeous. I want to learn to knit this one. This one I am going to make. Good morning, Lisa. So this one is my goal. Like, this is my knitting goal, ultimate knitting goal. But before I can make this, I think I need to make this. If I can make this successfully, I can probably also make this one successfully. I think at least that's my idea, right? It is with a pattern. The pattern comes if you buy the yarn, I think. I don't remember if you actually pay for the pattern, or I think you get the pattern for free when you buy the yarn. The yarn is, I think, personally gorgeous. It's 52% cotton and 48% bamboo. It's a 50-gram ball to 9 to 5 meters. So this is like, it's a bit heavier than a DK weight. They recommend needles 4 to 4.5 millimeters. And this would be the white, obviously, but they come in various colors. And it looks like they have the asters, but you could technically do anything. And I'd like this blue one, it's gorgeous, or slight one. It's a dove blue, bamboo, viscose, and cotton. I like this. Revenant asks if 330 Danish crowns is a lot. Divide by a bit less than 6, I think. You have it in USD. So this yarn is probably like $6.50 a skein. And you need 8 for a size small. I'll definitely need more for the size sign. I'll probably need like a size large. It's a good guess. Minimum. So I'd need 11 skeins. So that would be 435 Danish crowns. What would that be in dollars? Well, we could actually just pop over to xe.com and get the direct exchange rate. And this is not on sale. So of course, sometimes the yarn is on sale as well. That said, I do believe this yarn is one of those that they might not have on sale as often. 435. 435 Danish crowns to USD convert, please. It's about 67, let's say $68 American USD, inclusive sales tax, including sales tax. So that is what it would cost me to make this one, plus my time. But I haven't bought it yet, and I haven't, yeah, you get the pattern if you buy the yarn, basically. And I'm not necessarily sure I want it in purple. I'd probably be pretty cool with it in, let's say, this dove blue, or in a green, maybe. Or even this Greek blue is also quite nice. They also have a silver gray, which is kind of nice, I don't mind. Plum, which I'm like, nah, too dark. Dusty Rose, no. Ballerina, no. Blue Rain, I don't know why it's named that. I'm more for the dove blue. Greek blue. Petroleum is maybe a bit too dark. dark Salvie or fern. Fern isn't too bad either. Or eucalyptus. This one is nice. Yeah. This one is nice too. So that's my dream. But we aren't there yet. We aren't there yet. Good morning, Lisa. Hope you had a wonderful sleep and happy Halloween. Yeah, around $70 not on sale is not too horrible. Exactly. It's not too horrible. It's just you know, I'd rather not use the money on that until I know I can actually make it. Of course, what I can do, I can always consider buying it and then look really, really nice at my mom and hope she wants to make it for me, and she probably would if I asked her to. But I'd rather learn to do it myself. I think there will be some sort of accomplishment by doing it myself. Um, so that is this idea I have, that I want to learn to do this, if that makes sense. So we have actually done like 2.5 rows so far. It's been a quick day. 2, 3, 4. Two. Then we have some regular doubles. And then one more. And then we'll have this. And then it's puff time, my friends. Puffy puff. I kind of hoped we had no more puff stitches today, but of course, that's a dream. I'll tell you something, Lisa, for funsies. I have discovered today, or probably knew it longer, but I have acknowledged today that I will much rather make puff stitches than popcorns, because popcorns take longer than puff stitches. Who would have thought? But if I can choose, then I'd much rather make double crochet 3 together than both puffs and popcorns. But like, if I can't choose, popcorns is like the worst. Then it's puff. Then it's, yeah. Ta-ta. Lisa says she had a good sleep. Thank you. My son doesn't have school today, so I get to sleep in a bit. That's nice, though. Sometimes you just need to sleep in a bit. 1, 2. At least that's what I think. That sometimes we all just deserve a little sleep in. You know, everybody gets happier when we are well rested. But the problem is, I think these newer modern days with all the technology, we tend to not do that as much as we did before the electronic age. And I'm not talking about electricity in general, but I'm talking more about the digital age. That would be the more correct phrase here. I think we are a lot more inclined to get disturbed so that we do not get our full deserved rest. Back post. Chain 2. Oh my goodness. And and that is where we now need to do back post single crochets, around 2 of them. So we'll do exactly what it says. then another single back post around 1, and a single back post around 2, 1, 2, and then we are to the back post a double, chain 1, puffy puff. Yeah, should be able to do this. Can we reach to finish this row, this life? Probably. Probably. I don't think we'll have a color change this live though, given the statistics from the past couple of days and how far we have been since last color change. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. I'm still on my last row of my shawl. The hole on the beads are smaller than I anticipated, so my daughter's bringing me a smaller crochet hook today. I'm hoping it will work. If not, I'll have to order beads that are a bit bigger. I genuinely hope she has a small enough crochet hook that will be able to fit through those beads, else that is not going to be fun at all. Or you have to like sort of thread them on, which is kind of very inconvenient, I think. So that concept is going to take way longer than anticipated. So I genuinely hope that she has something that fits through it. That's the challenge of crocheting with beads. Obviously the holes needs to be big enough to go through it. One, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, I get to do lots of counting here. So yeah, I hope that you find a solution for the beads, because I'm still waiting to see that final result. Because I think you're making a gorgeous project. When are you guys leaving for Argentina? In the meantime, I finished a sock yesterday and casting on one this morning. Yes, because you can't, of course, do nothing while you're waiting for the solution. So what you're telling to me is right now that you actually have an ongoing VIP that you're not working on. But it's because you're forced to not be able to work on it, so to say. It's not intentional. I just know you can't have too many ongoing projects at the same time. Where in my world, that's a bit different. Two. Argentina is going to be in February. We're going to Mexico on January 1st. Oh, nice. Still. That means I will see you a little bit less around, I think. Unless you're just going to be hanging around, working a bit, relaxing in the sun chair. we don't have a bunch of plans. We are in December. Of course, I'll be heading to Luxembourg. I'm usually a week in Luxembourg every year in December for an event. And this Christmas, we are going to Denmark to be with my family this year. And except for that, no big plans. But because, of course, I'm going to Denmark for Christmas, it's also, I'm not going to be flying to Denmark in December. And we are going by car for Christmas. And then the next travel will be sometime in the new year, I think. No, you need to be making puff stitches, not back posts on that one. But I'm genuinely keen on a new vacation. Somewhere nice and warm. I think we had a hope that we could go to Croatia last summer, slash like late summer, begin autumn. But we ended up canceling that due to my mom being unwell. Because, as I said, I'd rather not want to travel too far away as long as I don't know how and what, which was totally understood by my partner. There's full support, and he also understands that I want to go back and forth more than I have done for the past many years. And that's still something I'm going to go to do onwards because, I guess it's helped put things a bit in perspective as to, just as to how far there's and the lack of guarantee you have, how long do you have your parents and so on. I want to make sure that once they pass, that I don't have the doubt, could I have been there enough, could I have done more. I'd like to be happy with, like, I'd like to have a good conscience, if that makes sense. And let's not forget, our parents is those who paid for our upbringing. So of course we should help them when we are able to do so. The only downside is that mine lives so far away. Where my mom-in-law, she's just like 10 minutes on bike. Then she feels bad. She's like, oh, but you never celebrate this and this with your parents. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not a Danish tradition, so don't worry about that. In the beginning of December here in the Netherlands, we have a Sinterklaas, which is basically like the Dutch version of Christmas. And no, it's not Christmas, but it's like Saint Nicolaus. So it's kind of the same, I guess, sort of. And that's on the 5th of December, but we just don't do that in Denmark. We only celebrate Christmas. And therefore, my parents don't know any better when it comes to Sinterklaas, which is the Dutch version of it. On the 5th of December, we do that usually. It's a Friday this year, which is really inconvenient because my partner trains the kids on the shooting range that day. And he's probably going to do it again this year. But it means that we're probably first going to celebrate it the day after or something like that. And celebrate is a big word. It's more like we'll meet up and we'll eat some good food and have a cozy time, something like that. Because obviously, if we would have had children, it would have been about presents and so on as well. But we don't. So 1, 2, and 3. There we go. Mexico is a working trip for 2 weeks, so your partner's going to be working there? I've never been to Mexico. I still want to go to the US one day, again. But I don't know when. I have to say, where I have my frequent flyers and the airline company that I fly with, there's something super weird about this stitch. I'll redo it. They had sales on like tickets to New York. I could fly back and forth to New York and stay there for 4 days for just 600 euros, which is like what, $650 or something like that. I thought that was a brilliant steal of a deal. So who knows? Maybe we'll end up like grabbing a good offer at some stage. But I'm just wondering if I really want to travel over for only 4 or 5 days, because that's pretty jet lagged. We'll both be working. We lead a mission trip every year. Ah, okay. It's like religious mission trip, or just generally helping the community, or what more exactly, if I may ask? Yeah, it's religious. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I have to admit I am not that religious, but I guess that's not super surprising. That said, I have full respect for religion. And I think it's healthy to believe in something. I just personally cannot define what the sense of. It can have any given name. So I'm a firm believer that there is something we cannot define. It's like guardian angels and stuff like that. I haven't even been to church on Christmas Eve for years, but I'm almost debating if I should do it. I'm sort of inclined to, but I'm not even a member of the church anymore because I don't live in Denmark anymore, and here in the Netherlands, it's way different, and it's not going to be the same. So I'm not going to do that. That's not what I can relate to in the same way. Good morning, Susan. Susan says she was out shopping this morning. Well, we are still here for another about hour-ish. We just talked about some stuff I wanted to learn to knit. We are non-denominational Christian. Yeah. So I'm baptized, and I had my communion within the Protestant church in Denmark. My partner would be a Catholic, but he's not a practicing Catholic, but he's baptized as a Catholic. And last time I was in a church was at my granddad's funeral, which is in 2015. Oh, wait, no, I was there for a baptizing of my cousin's son, I think, which has definitely been later, but I don't remember when. Before COVID. So I respect it. I don't mind being there, but I am not going to like uh, do a bunch of stuff. Let's see. I just need to see what I'm doing here. We'll chain 2. And they are still back posts. Oh, and that double crochets. Very important, Stina. You almost made those single crochets. And then it's chain 1. I'm just finishing the center and I'll catch up on chat. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Woohoo. Then I need to chain 2. Done. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and another. Woohoo. Done. Then we have the double crochets. We need to work out of this. So we first skip this one. And we'll grab these 2. This is a moment when I'm looking at this yarn being like, do I need glasses? I don't. I just pull them closer and closer to my eyes. But I'm almost debating if I need glasses, which I really don't. I know it's fine based on the visit I had to the eye doctor a month ago. Like, crickets. Cool. I guess that's how it is. Okay. Knitting, nice. Yeah, well, we don't know yet. I said it's a dream I have. Lisa says I respect everyone's decision to believe whatever they want. I'm a Christian evangelist, but what most people think of when they think of evangel, I am not going to try to force anyone to believe in anything. I think that is the exact correct standpoint to have, because I think we are all allowed to believe in whatever religious subdomination of whichever religion we prefer, whether this being Protestant, Catholic, Lutheran, evangelist, Christian general, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhism, whatever it's called. I think there needs to be room for us all. And if you respect others, and I do have a profound curiousness. A friend of mine, or friend is maybe a big word, but a person I know, he's a Muslim and he changed around 2000, I guess 16, maybe 15, 16. He started growing a beard, like a full beard. And he is also of Middle Eastern descent. And he generally, it's nicely well taken care of, but a lot of people will associate that instantly with terrorists. But yeah, he's a Muslim and he's praying when it's supposed to be and all that stuff. And I have honestly full respect for that. And apparently, growing a beard is also sort of a religious thing. but he's definitely not serious, and he's definitely not um, extreme by any means. And the curious person I am, I would be asking questions um, to get a better understanding. And I've done, and he's been telling me things, and that's been okay. Like, that doesn't make me changing my religion or despising what he's believing in. It's just me, I guess, trying to understand people in this world. So it's like a general thing, right? Like, I think it's good for general understanding. Hmm. So that was better. I should show Susan what we were talking about earlier, but I'm gonna finish this row first. But Susan, indeed, I wanted to knit. I think I've shown the t-shirt once, but first, first I'm gonna knit the cowl that you suggested, and then there's a scarf I'd like to jump into, because I'm like, if I can do that, then I can definitely do the t-shirt, thinking wise. But again, we are talking about big, 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 big projects for myself, if we go that direction. So, but first, I'm just gonna finish this row. Then we'll have a look, if you're curious. We learn by asking questions. I think it's good to ask and try to understand. And Susan says, sure, I guess that was for the having a look at the knitting projects I found. The one is a free pattern. Well, two is a free pattern, obviously, because one is the one you suggested to me. And the other one is a free hobby pattern. I will need to get yarns for it, but I might also actually have yarns that could work with it. I would have to check. And the last one, you get the pattern when you buy the yarn. And we just had a look at the yarn earlier, and the raw estimation was it's about 70 USD, including the pattern, including sales tax, to make like a size, let's say large, assuming I'd probably need a size large. Could also be I'll be fine with a medium, but I think I'll need a large. And of course, the idea of first making that later is, first of all, I'd like to make absolutely sure that I can knit it before buying it. And I want to hopefully lose a few kilos. And I would be really sad knitting something that's too big, of course. If that's ending up being the case, you could always consider selling it, and then you still have the pattern. But I'd ideally prefer to knit and keep. Revenant says, I'm an atheist, but I have no problem with most religious people as long as you are not using it as a crutch or a cover for base actions, then you can do as you will. Agreed. I wouldn't say, like, I used to say I was an atheist, but I'm not. I am more what you would consider agnostic. Agnostic is, it's a milder version of an atheist, I guess. Let's see if we can find the real definition of agnostic in Wikipedia. Agnosticism is the view or belief that the existence of God, divine or supernatural, is either unknowable in principle or unknown in fact. It also means that apathy towards religious belief and refer to personal limitations rather than a world view. Another definition is that the view that human reason is incapable of providing sufficient rational grounds to justify either the belief that God exists or the belief that God does not exist. And now we're talking about God in general. This could also be the name of Buddha or Allah, whatever all these gods are named, right? So it's just like a general thing. So that's kind of, that matches my view pretty well. Susanna agrees it's good to practice on smaller projects before starting on clothing. That was also my thought. That was also my thought. So it's like, hopefully it's like a win-win, because obviously I am working on losing weight, which is it's a bit of a standstill compared to last update, but it's still better than, let's say, 2 months ago. So it's progressing, but it's been a little bit standing still. And one of the reasons is probably the fact that as we had a pretty busy weekend last week, so I've been looking a bit, but I've not been super on top of it, I'll admit. But it's progressing, but small steps is okay. Small steps is okay. As long as it progress, I'm good with that. And I need to compare progress. So I'll need to look at, did I make progress in October? I think I did. No, I don't want the subscription. I do have a little place where I like kind of keep track. And yes, I did make progress. But not as much as I had wanted to. But I made progress. My belief, I am always trying to do better and be better. I don't like either when people use any religion as an excuse for doing terrible things. First thing I ever met was a top-down reckless. We're like, goodness. How did that turn out? Like, was it instantly a success, or can you laugh of it afterwards? You know, I know for sure that I cannot use those possible needles that I used for the other project because I can't trust the sizes. Reverend saying he has to leave and wishing us all a wonderful rest of our day. Thank you so much, Reverend. I wish you a wonderful Halloween. Have a great day. I'll see you maybe on Monday. I should be back live on Monday for those that want to hang out. That's the plan. Lisa says it's on my Ravelry project page. I'll try to get a link. You might not be able to share the link in here, but I can maybe fix so that you can do so. Let me see if it allows me to. Like that, I think. You should be able to share now, I believe. Yeah, it worked, because normally you can't share links unless you have, like, if you're a moderator, you can, so I added you as a moderator for my chat. And we are gonna do the shopping screen. The Fall Bluff Polo by Ashley Lillis. I like the colors. And a current anniversary cake. I think that went pretty well for your first time, to be honest. I'll need to pop up here. So, I think that's pretty good for your first time. Like, I would classify that as reasonably successful. 2, 3. I'm just continuing on crocheting, except for the fact that I do need to redo this one. I twisted the stitches. Yeah, okay. Learning by doing, but it's not bad at all. Like, I'd be okay with it. The real question is, do you still have it? And do you still use it? Or is it so long ago that it's had a happy retirement? You still wear it often? Ah, okay, that's cool. It looks like it's pretty soft, actually. Ah, you just made it last fall. Yeah, well, then it's definitely not at retirement age yet. Unless you've used it so much, it's kind of worn out. Generally, often, I have the feeling that knit sweaters last longer than bought knit sweaters. The anniversary cake's a very soft acrylic. Oh, that's nice. The only downside acrylic has is that it's not a breathable material, in the same way like cotton or wool. But it does have the opportunity to generate a whole different layer of softness, which is different and nice. But yeah, so I'm eyeballing that yarn, and maybe if I'm lucky, I can like find a store somewhere actually selling it. Like I can feel the yarn of that sweater or a t-shirt I'd love to make. So I have an idea before I buy it. One, 2, 3. But I will need to find it in Denmark if that happens, because I don't think there's any stores selling their yarns outside, like here in the Netherlands. I don't think I can find it here. It's my coldest weather sweater, which gets very cold here for most of the winter. I can imagine, yes. Because obviously you're at a place that's a lot colder than where I am. And I think it's cold right now, but that's just because I don't do well in autumn weather either. I want summer all year round. I have to say the benefit of a bit colder weather is I can work with this yarn without I feel that the lyrics are sticking to my fingers. So let's look at the positive sides of things. And I'm almost coming to an end here, which means that, Susan, I will soon show you what I was thinking next to this cowl you suggested me. So that's probably going to be the first bigger project I'll knit next to hats. One, two, We are very close to finishing this row. Of course, you can't see half of it, so I need to pull you guys a bit closer. I should pull you a bit closer. Also makes it a bit easier actually for me to reach my keyboard. Not a bad idea either. The weather currently in Vingula is cloud with a temperature of 38 degrees of Fahrenheit, so that's 3 degrees Celsius. Wind is blowing from north at 15 miles per hour, and the current humidity is 88. Ooh, I freeze. Here it's like 13 degrees Celsius, like 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Which isn't bad. Actually, it's reasonably warm, I think, for the time of the year. We could easily have had our first night really of freeze, but I don't think I've seen it yet. Or I just haven't noticed. 2 and 3. 1, 2 and 3. We are definitely getting closer here. Because I think these are the last of these back post singles. One, 2. Then I'll need to check soon how it was again that I ended up this row. One, 2 and 3. 1, 2 and 3. I think it's 2. And then I'll just pop in and check. The farmers here are scrambling to get the last of the corn and potatoes harvested. Yeah, I definitely understand that with this weather. Give me just one moment to keep track on what I'm doing. Oh, that's too early. So we close and we'll chain 1. That's how it is. And then we'll do the back post here. Because there is no 2. Chain 1. And then this one we'll do another puffy. 2, 3. Then we'll skip and we'll do the regular double. Another double. One more double. And then we are at the ending and I just need to get the yarn for that. Like that. 2 and a 3. Ta-ta! That was this row. That was nice, nice, nice. And the next is... I'm already tired by the thought. We've done 3.5 rows so far during this live, so I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, we were gonna have a little look at stuffs. So first, we were talking about knits. The tin can knits was a great site you sent, and there was this shawl, or scarf, cowl. It's a cowl. Which I believe, I don't remember the name anymore. Why didn't I thought I bookmarked it. I thought I did bookmark it. I must have not. How did I not? Oh my goodness, what was the name of it again? That is not good. For me, that is. It's not the 2x2. Oh, simple yet. That's it. Simple yet effective. Here we have it. No, go away. This one. This one I'm gonna knit. I have some hand-dyed 100% merino yarn upstairs, where should be exactly enough to make whatever is required here. So I'm gonna make this. Ta-ta! That one I'm gonna knit. And then when I'm done with that, I want to go knit the mala shawl, which is a bit like Sophie's knit, but with more texture. Could also be attempted as Sophie's knit first before doing this one. Sophie's knit is a petite knit pattern. That is a paid pattern. But then this one, and I think I might actually have yarn in my stash that would work fine with this, if I'm not wrong. Optionally, I'll just get 2 skeins of the. I do have the baby merino from Drops, but optionally, I can also probably get some extra fine merino somewhere else for a decent price. But that is the other project I'd really like to see. So this is I'd be really excited to attempt doing this, but that's definitely more complicated. I have no clue if I can figure it out, but I'm sure I can do this. I think it's nice. And yeah, there are many free patterns similar to the Sophie scarf. Yep, also. But I think this one is really nice. To be honest, I like it has a little bit of texture without not a lot, but I need to learn to knit texture because the shirt I want to make is in this yarn. This is a bamboo viscose / cotton yarn, 52% cotton and 48% viscose, bamboo viscose. 1.75 ounce skeins to 95 meters, so about 105 yards per skein. And I want to knit this birdie tee. This one I want to learn how to knit this one. And I think if I can make the mala shawl, why wouldn't I be able to make this one? So that is my goal. But I'm not sure if I'll be so far that I can actually begin on this one next year. I don't know yet. We'll see. The mala shawl is gorgeous, and it's a free pattern. You can get it on Hobby. I just have the Dutch version of Hobby, but I'll pop over to the US because I can share the link for you guys. It is free. Where's the US? Why do I only have like there? I look at the wrong part. Don't need all this extra. And I'll share with you the link in the chat for those that's curious. So it's a free download from Hobby, the Mala shawl or Mala scarf. So you can just download the pattern for free. It is with 100% fine merino, so you can probably also do it like if you can find a similar yarn weight than the Hobbies. You probably don't necessarily need to use the Hobby yarn, but then you have the pattern. So there you go. Pretty tough, quite challenging though. Yeah, so that's why I'm saying I'm not sure if I'll be skilled enough to get started on that next year. But one may dream. So yeah, the plan was to start with the cowl that you shared with me because that seems like pretty simple. And then when I'm done with that, I'll move on to the mala scarf. I just need, I also think I have yarn in my stash that would work fine with it. That's important to note. I do believe I have yarns in my stash that will work fine with it, but else maybe the fine merino is on sale when my birthday is around and I have my birthday voucher and can get extra discount, and if not, then it's not, and then that's it. You will need 2 skeins if you want to make the large version, and the small should be able to be made with 1 skein. But yeah. So there is a little dream of my future ideas, but as I said, I have so many other things I also want to make. And I am probably more of a crocheter than a knitter. But that doesn't mean that I shouldn't just sometimes be able to chillax and do something for myself. Okay, so we are on the front post end, so we skip that one and we do front post here. And then we'll chain 1, front, okay, and front post, and double, and chain, and double, and front post, and double, chain, double, and front, and chain, and front. Hallelujah, that went smooth. Then we'll do 1, 2. That's also a front around all 3 of them, so we will have to do something along this. Oh. And then to have it remaining nice is the challenge. Ta-ta. Okay. So this row I definitely won't be able to finish during this live. So that is going to be for Monday. But we can do a fair bit, I think. I have my next 2 shawl patterns planned out as well. First going to make the lost souls for a friend with a Stendy Candy opal cake. And Lisa says, I don't think that one will be difficult and won't take me long. I don't think so either. Mala scarf is great and only needs 100 grams of yarn. Exactly. Stine, the work day scarf is a nice one too for only 100 grams of hand dyed. Is that on the same side as the simple yet effective? Then I'm going to make myself a warm winter shawl. I'm going to make the Aztec shawl with some pure cashmere that I got from Temu. And Susan says, no, go search it up. Workday scarf. Workday scarf. Pattern. Boom. Ravelry. Let's share the shopping screen again. So this would be the next pattern for Lisa, the Aztec shawl. That looks nice actually. It's in crochet. Does take quite some yarn. but it does look nice. That's a nice looking one. And then you have the workday scarf, which is knit. Also, it doesn't take too much. Oh, that's nice. I like this one. Probably use the same yarn as for the mala scarf. I could imagine that. They used, no idea what Aruana yarns Huasco multi-botany lace yarn. No idea though. It's like a hand-dyed-ish yarn. 100% merino wool, 100 grams to 415 minutes, like sock weight yarn. It looks gorgeous. I like this top one. Gorgeous. I have lots of yarn. I just have 2 packs of 6 balls. There is plenty of yarn definitely then to make it. Absolutely. Let's see, how far did I get? But this double chain, double front post, double chain, double. Lisa's trying to be a good girl and listen to Susan and shop my stash. Yeah, we all need to listen to Susan and shop our stashes. We all need to be good girls and do that because we do have plenty of yarn to lay around, and yeah. And I do genuinely feel I have yarns for all of those projects laying somewhere in my stash in some sort of capacity or shape or form, that it's just a question of finding the yarn and casting on and stuff like that. That is my genuine feeling. And else, you know, I'll be okay to probably cast on a new project in worst case and buy some yarn. But generally, I should try to shop the stash. That would be best for us all. Shop your stash, everyone. Let's make room. Indeed. I am still going to have to make a good effort to have obtained Dengik, my goal for the year, to decrease it. But it didn't gain by a lot yet. So, but I do need to make some effort to actually, I think, decrease it. And I have been making efforts, but I think I might have bought too much. Some of it was though yarn where, you know, I got some of the hobby yarns, but I didn't want to not get them because my points would otherwise expire. So it was kind of sort of free yarn. So yeah, I did get that. Does that count? And that was some of my yarn. Like if I didn't get that, then maybe it would look a bit better. But I intentionally did get, I did intentionally get some of that because I didn't want my points just to disappear, right? You know, like if you can get free yarn and not pay for the shipping and stuff like that, because like whatever, you make a yarn order to make sure that you don't have to pay for the shipping. If it's free, like shame on you if you don't get it. Especially if the alternative is that the points just vanish. Lisa says, I'm fully planning on buying at least 3 sweater quantities while I'm in Argentina, plus likely a few new single balls and maybe some fiber for spinning, which is totally allowed if for the remainder of the year you shop your stash, right? Like, like, you know, you need to make room for the yarn you know you're going to buy. Or is that why you guys are building a new home? So that you're sure you have enough room for all your yarn? That could be a good reason too. I definitely wouldn't mind moving to a place where we had an extra room, which could just be like my yarn room. That would be pretty cool, actually. But I don't need to move just for that. Like, we would need a bunch more money to do that move because housing is expensive. Because I'd like to stay where we are, like regional wise. And to get a house close to what would be interesting, would be close to $1 million. That's just ridiculous amount of money. Lisa say that isn't why we're building a house. I'm like, are you sure? No, I guess it's not. That would be crazy though, right? But it would be pretty cool to have the room for it. Honestly, if we were to move, then it would be for me to say I'd like a bigger guest room for when we have my family on visit. But it's not something that's a desperate need because fundamentally, how often do we need that, right? So it like purely for that alone, it's like it's too much money. It's like I'll rather spend my money on something else. The actual living space in this house is small and tight. I don't really have space to have all my kids home comfortably. Gotcha. Hello, Carly. Welcome to this live. Wonderful to meet you. Come in. If you haven't grabbed a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, you're more than welcome to do so in the corner and grab a seat to sit down and bring your crafts. That is what the rest of us are doing. I am just cracking along on the pattern here. And it is starting to look like something. All the Christmas cookies has been in the stores for the past almost 2 months now, which is a bit crazy actually. There's no doubt that it's a seasonal cookie thing. Which kind of reminds me I should bring cookies to our match this weekend. Maybe I should go buy a bag before we leave Saturday. This row is actually going pretty smooth. Like once we really get going here, it's not too bad. Bunch of these front posts. Some of them around the puffs. What I'm looking most forward to is to see this shawl once it's blocked. I will admit that. It looks so much better when it blocks because then we can really see the stitch definition. Right now it just looks like I can't even get you a good photo of it because the stitch definition isn't as visible. I think I need to check the pattern. Is so far what I expected it to be. Then we'll chain 2 our front post. And then I need to, it's a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. To the other side. So we only have half a row left of this row. Because we just officially passed the center tip. So we are halfway through this row. And I'd love if we could finish it this live, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure because time is sort of also running. But we will try. I think it's a nice goal. And there is no sign of color change yet, which also, as I said when we started, I didn't expect that to happen either because these cakes do have pretty long color transitions. So I just don't recall they were that long, but I think I've gotten to have done enough of them now to say that they are longer than, let's say, your average twister or other cake. That's kind of frustrating with that pattern. I knew it was going to be beautiful while I was making it, but I couldn't really see it because it needed aggressive blocking. Yeah, exactly. It looks really funky when you're just looking at it here. I can't really see how it's going to look. Of course, it doesn't help that this camera doesn't give a nice light view of it, but you know, this, it needs blocking. It just so badly needs blocking to show decently. So this is me having faith in the process. Just like I had faith in the process with the rib knit beanie I made, where I then afterwards realized that, these aren't 9mm needles. um, so it turned into be a baby hat, I would say, which I'm probably ending up donating. I think that's what's going to happen with it. It won't fit a full grown-up head, or well, it will be tight, very snug, which is not comfortable. Lisa says, at least you learned about needle sizing systems. Oh, I most certainly did. And in hindsight, I should probably have thought about it earlier. But I had faith that whatever numbers were just saying its size in millimeters and not in US sizes. Like, come on. Why wouldn't you kind of keep the same sizing for, yeah. I learned something. That's how we need to look at it. I learned something. It wasn't for nothing. And I used the yarn, and I'm definitely not going to frock it to attempt to redo it. Like, it's just not happening. I'd almost finished it all. And, you know, having done that, you're not just going to frock it all. I'm just going to be like, okay, it's going to be a smaller size, and I'll donate it. I'm still sure there will be some happy recipient out there where it would be fitting. Very valid. Lisa says here, it's only a mistake if you don't learn anything. Otherwise, it is a learning experience. Yes, that is very valid. And I did learn something, so I should have known, though. Like, really thinking really good about it, I should have known that that could be the case, and to double check. Oh, no. I was almost making a mistake there. I have the feeling I'm just buzzing this through and that I might have made a mistake somewhere. I hope that is not the case. That would make me sad. But I should probably check it up here and there. Looks right. It looks right still. Du, du, du. As the time flies, and it is a lovely Friday afternoon. It's slowly getting dark outside. You know, in a month or so, it would be completely dark outside right now here. Or not completely, but close to completely. It's scary how quickly that goes in winter. Oh no. I need to redo this because the yarn split. The lurex split off. That is something we would like to prevent. Very determined. I think we'll reach this. Yeah, we will finish off this row today. And then next row can wait for us for Monday. I already have clear plans for my projects for the weekend. As I said, I'm heading off, so I'll bring some easy to bring with, which is probably just going to be my crochet scrunchies. I only have 4 skeins left of those yarns, and I'd like to get those completed. And then I'll want to get them all ready and uploaded to my web store. Plus, I will probably make some sort of offer here on the local Dutch market to see if somebody is willing to get some. And I also need to pack up one for a present. And we are heading into the very last bits here. And then, of course, I have Fleur that I'm working on. That is the mosaic blanket for those that are new to this, which is a goal to finish this year. And it's something that just takes a lot of time. Mosaic blankets is not just same stitch on and on and on. It is counting, because else you do not get what you want, so to say. Good. Now I need to check the pattern for the last few bits. We'll skip this one. Chain 1, skip stitch, chain 1, skip. I need to do that no more time, so I'll chain 1 and then at the end where we need 2. That was not the right. That was better. And we'll need to do the treble, of course. Ta-ta! That, my friends, was the end of this row. And we will be continuing on Monday on this pattern at least. Let's see. I am going to... This is the front side, so you can see a little bit here. Ta-ta! But ideally, I should probably hold it up. That would be better. So that is what I'm gonna do. I am gonna go to the regular camera view, pop my pretty face back up, and show you guys. Ta-ta! This is what we're looking at. It is gorgeous, and it will be so much better once it's blocked. This is how the cake is currently looking like. As you can see, we are getting really close to being done with the dark purple, but there is still like a few millimeters left here on, so there is still a bit to go. Also, you can still see it's still plenty of dark purple here on the outside, but it's not. I think on Monday we will have a color change. So my goal is for Monday is to find this audio, which is like "Garabing" for the color change, like this happy sound. So that is my goal for Monday. That would be kind of cool. Lisa says we have time change on Sunday. It will be dark here by 6 p.m. and then continue to get early all winter. Same here. Yeah, the camera unfortunately can't get the texture it has, which is really sad. But the camera I use is already better than the camera that's inbuilt in my computer. But I'd love to get an even better camera. I need to figure something out for that. But that is a future be project, not for right now. I'm going to say thank you so much for hanging out with me today because it is 5:02 p.m. here and I need to clear up the house and start cooking because else we won't reach to do everything that we're usually going to do on a Friday. I'm so grateful for you, everybody that hanged out with me today. I had a wonderful time. I hope you did as well. And yeah, I will see you on Monday when I am back for another live. I should be there around for those that's doing the time change this weekend. I think all of you as might do that. I should be back on the regular time, so that will be 8 a.m. Eastern. If everything goes well, it could be that I'm slightly late Monday. Depends on work because it is the first of the month. It's the first working day of the month, plus it's a Monday, and that's usually a bit more hectic. But we will see if I'm efficient. That should not be an issue. Take care and happy crafting. Until I see you again. Bye.